Hi, welcome back to Maths Learning Groups. Now today we are going to look at SA1 Henry Park Primary School. So we're going to go through every single question. So like what I mentioned in the earlier lesson, so you will need to do the paper first before you watch the video. So that's how you benefit from the lesson. So if you haven't done the questions yet, I will strongly encourage you to do the questions first, and then once you have completed the questions, then you watch the video to go through your mistakes. Alright, so paper 1 is a 1 hour lesson, right? And you can't take too much time to do your questions. So you will have to think of shortcuts, right? If there's a shortcut, any shortcut that you can use, you will need to apply those shortcuts so that you cut down on the working. Because if you spend too much time on the working, then what happens is you will not have enough time to finish your work. Then you will not also have time to check your paper as well. So paper 1 is actually quite rushed, right? It is because it's 1 hour and you have to do 30 questions, so you will need to manage your time, and you really need to think about your shortcuts if there is any shortcut that you can use. Alright, so let's go to your question 1 and let's see how we solve question by question. So we are going to go through slowly. Alright, so I'm not going to rush my lesson. So in my tutoring lesson, I don't like to rush. So I would like to take time to go through every question so that you have a good understanding of what is being taught, and hopefully you don't make the mistakes. Right? If you have made a mistake, hopefully you understood the lesson and you don't make the same mistake. Okay, so what is the value of the digit 6 in the number that's given? So you have if you look at the place value, right? So what's the place value of the digit 6? Well, you have the ones place, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, and the 10,000s. So the 6 is in the 10,000 place. So that will be 610,000 or 60,000. Alright, so number 2, which of the following numbers is 78,000 when rounded to the nearest thousand? So your 1,000 has 3 zeros. So what do? You have to look at the last 3 digits in the numerals. For example, I draw a line and I show the last 3 digits. And I look at the digit nearest the line. Is it 5 and bigger? No, it's not. So I cannot add 1 on the next digit. So it will still be 77,000. So number 1 is wrong. Okay, go to number 2 and you draw a line to show the last 3 digits. And the digit nearest the line, is it 5 or bigger? Yes. So you add 1 on the next digit, and that will be 78,000. So this number, when you round off to the nearest thousand, that will get you 78,000, and your answer is number 2. So you don't have to look at number 3 and number 4. Okay, let's go to number 3, question 3. Now, which one of the following is not a common factor of 24 and 32? Now, there's a shortcut here. Alright, so in primary 4, your teacher will have taught you to write out the factors like this: 1 times 24, 2 times 12, and so on. Okay? And then the next one will be 1 times 32, and then 2 times 16, and so on. Now, nothing wrong with this, right? You should be doing this when you're in primary 4. But when you come to primary 5, well, we can do something faster. So what is a factor? A factor means it can be divided. So if it's not a common factor, it means cannot divide. So for example, can 24 divide by 1? Yeah. Can 32 divide by 1? Yes. So your 1 is a common factor. Okay, so we are using a shortcut now. So can 24 divide by 2? Yes. Can 32 divide by 2? Also can. So 2 is a common factor of 24 and 32. Can 24 divide by 3? Can. 32 divide by 3? Cannot. So your 3 is not a common factor because 32 cannot divide by 3. So when you cannot divide, it is not a factor. So answer will be number 3. And if you look at number 4, 24 can divide by 4. 32 can also divide by 4. So your 4 is a common factor. So this is a shortcut. Okay, so what it means that you don't want to write too many factors like this. Alright, otherwise by the time you finish, that will be about some minutes. Alright, some minutes taken already. Okay, let's go to number 4. Which of the following fractions is greater than 5 over 12? So you will have to make the denominator all the same. Every time you compare fractions, you have to make the denominator the same. So you make them into all the same denominator. And then you see which fraction is greater than 5 over 12. So you have 6 times 2, 1 times 2. 2 times 6, 1 times 6. And you can stop there already because your half is greater than 5 over 12. And you don't have to look at the rest, alright, because the rest are not correct. Okay, so that's how you compare fractions. You always make the denominator the same. Okay, let's go to the next one. Alright, what fraction of the circles are shaded? Now for this question, it can be a hard question if you if you do not understand or you forgot how to do fractions. Now your answer has to be a fraction. Then what is the denominator? The denominator is the total, which is all the circles. Alright, so how many circles do you see? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15 circles altogether. And how many are shaded? Then you count. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the numerator is the how many shaded circles. And the denominator is the total circles. And of course you have to simplify your fraction. So you divide by 3 and you divide by 3, you get 2/5. So 2/5 of the circles are shaded, which is answer number 3. Alright, so your answer has to be a fraction when you see these two words. Your denominator is the total, right? Total or whatever you see. And the numerator is the what you are being asked, which is to find how many shaded circles. Okay, let's go to the question number 6. Which one is equal to 3 and 5 over 6? So what you can do is you change the mixed number into improper fraction and you are tested on your P4 fractions. So you times and you plus. That's how you change into improper fraction. So 3 times 6 will be 18. Then 18 plus 5 will be 23 over 6. And your answer will be number 3. Okay, so it's quite easy for this question. Alright, the next one is your place value. Primary 4 again, right? So in P5 you will be tested on primary 4 topics. So what are the place value? Now if you look carefully, this is your 5 tenths. Okay, 5 tenths, 50. This is your 2 ones, which is 2 or 2.0. And then behind the decimal point is your 9/10. Alright, now what do you mean by 9/10 with a TH? Now if you were to write this as a fraction, it's actually very easy. The difference between 9/10 and 9/10, there's a TH. So the difference is what? If there's no TH, you times. Okay, you times if there's no TH. If there's a TH, you divide. And if you learn in P5, what is divide? Divide means fraction. 9 divided by 10. So which means that your missing number is 9 divided by 10, right? Now over 10. But there's a 90 over there. So you have to make the numerator to be 90. So you times 10. And the bottom part, you also have to times 10. And you get your 100. So your denominator is 100. And what is your 4? The value of the digit 4. That is your 400. Okay, so let's have a quick recap. So 400. So if you see there's a TH, it means that you have to divide, which means that 4 divided by 100. And how do you write as a fraction? Every time you see a dividing, is 4 out of 100. So your fraction is like a dividing. Okay, so that's how you understand the difference between tens, between tender, and between 100 and without the hundreds. Without the TH. So if there's no TH, then what happened? Then it will be times. Okay, times. If there's a TH, then there will be a divide. Okay, that's how you understand the difference. Alright, you don't get yourself confused by these place values. Okay, next one, question number 8. Fraction. What? In the hall, 3 over 8 of the students are girls. Alright, now lesson here. When you are given the fraction, you can convert the fraction to ratio. Okay, but we don't convert ratio to fractions, which is a little inappropriate. But we can convert fraction to ratio. So if you look at this fraction is talking about the students. Okay, the students, and there are total 8 boxes of students, and 3 units are girls, or 3 boxes are girls. So how do I convert to ratio? I will have girls is to boys is to the total. And if the girls is 3 units and the total is 8 units, then the boys must be 5 units. Alright? So what's the ratio of the boys to the girls? Boys to the girls. So that will be 5:3. So what's the lesson? That's an important lesson here is to follow the order. So what comes first? The boys come first, 5, then followed by the girls. So 5:3. So pupils make mistake because they don't see the order. Right? So you have to make sure you follow the order and write the order correctly. Okay, next one. Triangle. So again, a common mistake for this question is that students thought that the base is 5. and then they can't find the height, or they just anyhow put the height. Now, your teacher will have taught you to use the ruler to find the height of a triangle. And how do you find the height? Now, if you think the base of this triangle, if you think that it is 5 cm, right, for example, then you have to make sure that you are able to find the height, or there's a height given. If there's no height given, then you have chosen the wrong side to be the base. So I put my ruler on the base that you have chosen, and I shift the ruler left, right, and I don't see a line that is parallel with the ruler, or I don't see a line that is same side as the ruler. Because if I can see a line that is the same side as the ruler, that will be the height of the triangle. So which means that I have chosen the wrong side to be the base. So I have to change my side. Okay, so what do I do? Now, if you remember the early lesson, when you see a square box, a right angle, the base and the height are very near to the right angle box. So if I choose this to be the base has to be one of the 3 sides of the triangle. Then where is the height? You take your ruler and you put it on the base that you have chosen, and you slide along the base, and you will see a line that is same side as the ruler, which is over here. So that is your height, the height of the triangle. So your base will have to be this. So this will be the base, because the base gives you a height. Alright, you can see a height. Okay, so the base is 12 cm. So half times 12 times the height, which is 4. Okay, by now it should be quite good with the cancel. So you divide by 2 to make the number smaller, and divide by 2. So 6 times 4, the area of the triangle is 24 cm squared. Okay, so for this question, what's important here is that when you choose a side to be the base, then you have to make sure that you can also use the base to find the height. If you can't use the base to find the height, then you have to change your base already. Alright? Okay, let's go to number 10. What is the volume? So you are tested on your formula. So cuboid, the volume of a cuboid is equal to length times breadth times height, and the length is the longer side, so which is your 9 cm, and 6 is the breadth, and height is how tall. Height means how tall is the cuboid. So you have 9 times 6 times 6, and there's no shortcut, you have to do your working. So 9 times 6 is 54, then 54 times 6. Alright, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Okay, so in the exam you can't use a calculator, but because it's a simple calculation, so to do faster, so I'm going to use my calculator to work out the answer quickly. And if you do your working correctly, your answer will be 324 cm squared. Okay, so that 324 cm cube, because it's volume, right? Volume, so cannot be cm squared. So if it's a cm squared, that is area already. Volume means cm cube. Okay, so that's your answer number 2. Okay, let's go to 11. Now, Mrs. T paid $240 for a bag and a skirt. The bag cost 4 times as much as the skirt. So how much more did the bag cost than the skirt? Now, in primary 3, primary 4, you are advised to draw the model, okay, for questions like this. But when you come to primary 5, very simple questions like this, we don't want to draw the model because it takes time to draw the model, and it's a 1-hour exam. So I'm going to show you something called the unitary method, okay, which your teacher has also taught you. Okay, unitary. Alright, unitary method means you are writing units, but of course there's no model there. Alright, so the bag costs 4 times. Let's call it 4 units. And the shirt costs 1, and the skirt costs 1 time, which is 1 unit. Okay, so the bag plus the skirt add together will be 5 units, and that will give you the total cost. Now when you do this way, you are not doing the model because we want to do a bit faster, right? We don't want to spend too much time to draw the model for paper 1. But if you are not good in math, if you find that you have difficulty trying to solve this problem, then you need to draw the model. So you decide whether you want to draw or you don't want to draw. Okay, if it's a simple problem, then you just write the units. So your 5 unit is 240, then your 1 unit will be 240 divided by 5. And you will get $48. So how much more did the bag cost than the skirt? You take 4 unit minus 1 unit, the bag costs 3 units more. So 48 times 3. And that will give you $144 more. So answer number 1. Okay, so this is called the unitary method, which means that you are using units to write your steps. Okay, now let's go to number 12. There were 16 pupils in the class at first. 12 of them were girls. 2 more boys and 2 more girls joined the class. In the end, what fraction of the pupils were girls? Okay, now for some students, this can be a bit complicated. So what do? You break down the problem by writing some key numbers, writing down some information. Like for example, what do I mean? Okay, for example, this is a before and after problem, right? So I just write before. So write something, do something to help yourself to understand better, right? Because if you try to solve it inside your brain without writing down the numbers, writing down the details, you find that it's a bit hard. So what I like to do is when the problem gets hard, I always have something to show. So if it's a before and after problem, then I will do this: girls, boys, girls, boys. Okay? Yeah, and then it will help me to organize my thoughts. So there were 16 pupils in the class at first. Okay, so let's put down 16 pupils in the class at first. 12 of them were girls. Okay, let's put down 12 of them. Okay, 12 of them were girls. And there must be 4 boys, right? Okay, if 12 of them were girls at first, then there must be 4 boys. 2 more boys and 2 more girls joined the class. So how many girls now? So you have 12 plus 2. And then you have 2 more boys who also join the class. So that will be 6. And the total will be now 20. Alright, 20. Alright. So in the end, what fraction of the pupils? So you are looking at the after because you are talking about in the end. So you need to look at the after. So what fraction of the pupils, which is altogether 20, were girls? Then you look at the number there. There were 14 girls in the end. So 14 over 20. Then your simplest form, divide by 2, and then divide by 2. So 7 over 10 of the pupils in the class were girls in the end. So your answer is number 4. So when you break it down like this, you make the problem simple, and it's not so hard to think, right? It becomes a little easier, right? And you don't really have to figure out what to do, right? So because everything is on the paper, you can see clearly what you're writing. Okay, next one, question 13, your 4 operations. So you have a plus, times, and minus. So which is the more important one to do? You do the times first. So you ever sign. So what I will do whenever I have equation questions like this, or whenever I have 4 operations in this question, what do? I will put the arrow sign to show that is the first thing that you must do. So 7 plus, get the answer for that, 18, right? So I will always have an arrow sign to indicate what to do first. Then later you write out the rest of the sentence. So you have plus and minus, so they are equally important, so you do left to right. So 7 plus 18, which is what you must do first, because they are equally important. So you have 25 minus 4, and your answer will be 21. So answer number 2. Okay, let's go to 14. Okay, now there are some drawings, some lines are missing. So I'm going to draw, something. Okay, I'm going to draw out the lines because something is missing on the drawing. Okay, let me just, like this. So I'm sure it's something like this. And then the answers that you see, okay, there's a, C. Alright, so let me just complete the drawing first so that you can see more clearly. So I think on your paper, you will also have the lines. Oops. Okay, hang on for a while. So on the paper, you also have the lines missing. So you should be using ruler to draw the lines, but I'm going to do a bit faster without the ruler. And so something like this, right? Let's draw out the triangle first. Then you'll be able to find what is the answer. Okay, we are done. Okay, all right. Now, so what is the question saying? Which triangle has the same area as above? Now, how do you measure the base, or how do you measure the side of the triangle, like the base? You can see that there are 3 gaps, right? 3 gaps between the dots. So that will be 3 units. Okay, 3 units. And the height is 3 units as well. Okay, the height is 3 units because you can see that there are 3 gaps between the dots. Okay, I hope you can understand where are the 3 dots. 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gaps. So we call it 3 units. Okay, 3 units. So the base and the height is 3 units. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go to answer number 1. This is how many unit? 3 units. And this is how many unit? That will be, look at the height. That's 1 unit, 2 unit, and 3 unit. So the height is also 3 unit. So when you have the same base and the same height, no need to see the others already. This is the same area because both triangles have the same base and the same height. Okay, so the height is 3, alright, and the base is also 3. Okay, how about the others? Okay, let's look at a few examples. What's the base? How many units? So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Okay, because there are 5 gaps between the dots. And how many units is the height? 1, 2, and 3. So 3 units. So the base is different. So it's a different area. How about the other one? The base is 2 units, which is also different. So number 3 is wrong. How about this one? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. The base is 4 units. And the height is 2 units. So the base and the height are different. So different area. So to know what has the same area, you just have to look for the same base and same height. So if the triangles have the same base and same height, then that is same area. Okay, let's go to the next one. Question number 15. Okay, now this question can be a stumbling block for some students. So every time you see fractions, you must always think about what is the fraction talking about. Like for example, this fraction is talking about what? It's talking about the figure. And the figure is made of rectangles. And if you look at the denominator, are there 5 rectangles altogether? No, right? So there are not 5 rectangles altogether, right? So, but if you read carefully, right, read the question carefully. Now, this is a very tricky question. So the figure is made of identical rectangles. How many white rectangles must be removed? So it's not to color, but to take out the white rectangles. So what is unchanged? So there's an important lesson here. Whatever question that you are doing, whether it's a before and after, right? It may not be a before and after. You will always need to think about what is unchanged, what is the same. So in this question, you take out the white rectangles, but what is still the same? The shaded rectangles are still the same. Means you still have 4 shaded rectangles. And you want 2/5 of the figure to be shaded. So which means that out of 5 rectangles, there are 2 rectangles that are shaded. But if you look at the figure, are there only 2 rectangles that are shaded? There are 4 rectangles that are shaded. So you have to put the 4 there. Why do you put the 4 there? Because you are not going to color any more rectangles, right? You are going to remove the white rectangles, but still keep the shaded rectangles. So the shaded rectangles is still unchanged, still the same. So you still have 4 shaded rectangles. Then what is the missing denominator? Then you times 2, you get 4/10. Which means that you need to have only 10 rectangles in the end. But if you look at the figure, how many rectangles do you see? You have a total of 15, right? How many rectangles do you have? You have a total of 15 rectangles. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. But you only want 10 rectangles in the end. So which means that how many white color rectangles must you take out? You must take out 5 white rectangles. So when you take out 5 rectangles or 5 unshaded rectangles, then what fraction is shaded? Then you will have 4 out of the remaining rectangles, which is how many in the end? Which is 10. 4/10 of the figure shaded. And of course, when you simplify your fraction, that's how you get your 2/5 of the figure shaded in the end. So your answer is 5. So you must take out 5 unshaded rectangles. Alright, so this is I would say it's not an easy question because students will make a mistake and they will think that they have to color more rectangles. But you don't color more rectangles. You are supposed to take out the white color rectangles. Okay, let's go to your booklet B. Back to the easy questions. Okay, so what's the missing number? The numbers are becoming bigger. So if the numbers are becoming bigger, then it's either plus or times. But it cannot be times, because if it times, then the number will become very, very, very big. So it has to be plus something, right? Okay, so plus how many? So you take the bigger number minus the smaller number to find the pattern. So let's put down you have 612199 minus 612099. So what's the difference? The difference is 100. So which means that you have to plus 100 plus 100 and so on. Okay, but be careful. You will need to check whether is the pattern correct. So how do you check? You just take 612199 plus 100 to double check whether you get the next number. If you get the next number, then the pattern is confirmed, is correct. Okay, so then you now can find the missing number. So you take 611899 plus 100, that will give you 611 and 999. So your missing number is 611,899. Okay, so hopefully get this answer correct. Okay, let's go to the next one. You are tested on how to add fractions. So you will need to make the denominator the same. So when you have fractions, you always make the denominator the same. So you will get 4 and 4 over 10 plus 1 and 9 over 10. So how to add them? You add the whole number first. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and then 4 plus 9 is 13 out of 10. Okay, please don't leave your answer like this, because it's a mixed number, but it's not proper to write as the answer. So you have to take out one whole. Take out one whole from 13 over 10. So your 13 over 10, if you take out one whole, that will be 13 over 13. Oh, that will be 10 over 10. Okay, not 13 over 13. So your one whole is, take out one whole, 10 over 10, and then you will have what left? You have 3 over 10 left. And the one whole that you take out, you add 1. Right? It means you take out and put it on the whole number, which is 6 wholes now. Take out one whole and put it on the 5. So you have 6 wholes, and after you take out 10 over 10, that will give you 3 over 10 left. So what is the value? The value is 6 and 3 over 10. Okay? Okay, question 18. So how do you change this into a fraction? Now this is a 2 decimal place. So if it's a 2 decimal place, then it must be 100. Okay, 2 zeros, 100. And what's the numerator on top? That will be 6 over 100. And the simplest form. So you divide by 2, and you will get 3 out of 50. So your simplest form is 3 over 50. So that is how you change the decimal to fraction. Okay, let's go to the next one. Question 19. Okay, triangle again. So you can see that you are supposed to find the area of triangle ACD. So it's important that you highlight the triangle that you are looking at, which is the red color triangle. Because if you don't do that, you get confused by other triangles in the picture. Alright, then you read the question. AB is equal to BC, which means that your BC is also 8 cm. So what's the area of the triangle ACD? Okay, then you must recall your formula. So what is the formula? Half times base. So the base has to be one of the 3 sides of the triangle. So if you choose this as the base, okay, this is the base, then where's the height? The height has to be right angle to the base. And if you're confused, then you take your ruler and what do you do with the ruler? You put the ruler on the base, like this. And you shift the ruler left and right to look for a line that is same side as the ruler. So is there any line that is same side as the ruler? Yeah, there's a line that is same side as the ruler, which is over here. This is the height of the triangle, which is your 8 cm. So you have half times base times height. And apply the shortcut so that you can do faster. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then you take 17 times 4, that will give you how many? That will give you 68 centimeter squared, which is the area of the triangle. Alright, so it's not exactly it's quite easy so far. You're being tested on your concept, right, on the different concepts in your topics. Okay, let me just have a quick check to see whether is the area correct. Yes, it's correct. Okay, let's go to question 20. Now, question 20, volume. So what is the volume of the solid? Okay, so the figure is made of 1 cm cube. So what does that mean? It means that every cube or every side of the cube is 1 cm. Okay, every side of the cube is 1 cm. So that's what you need to understand. Right, when you see 1 cm cube, it means every side is 1 cm. So if you're asked to find the volume of the solid, you will need to know what is the volume of 1 cube. So the volume of 1 cube will be 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1 cm cube. So what is the volume of the solid? Then you need to count how many cubes are there. So like what I mentioned in the early lesson, what is the better way to count the cubes? You count column by column, right column. You can count layers as well. But if you count layers, if you find it's a bit hard, then you can count columns. So for example, if I count columns, this is 4. Okay, 4 cubes for this column. This is 2, this is 3, and then this is 2 and 2. And then the rest of the cubes, they are on the ground level. I will just put the number on top, which is 1 each. Okay, then you start to add up all the cubes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17, 20, 24. So there are 24 cubes in the figure. So what's the volume of 24 cubes? 24 times the volume of 1 cube, and you get the volume of the solid figure. Okay, so that's how you get the volume. So you have to find the volume of 1 cube, then you have to count how many cubes are there in the solid figure, then you multiply. Okay, let's go to your 2-mark question. Okay, now there is a now for this question, okay, it looks very simple. It's like a primary 3 problem. Now Mr. Wong and Mrs. Lee have a total of $8,776. Mr. Wong has $2,388 more than Mrs. Lee. How much does Mr. Wong have? Okay, now in primary 3, primary 4, I will advise the students to draw model because they are still at a younger age. So model drawing is a must to draw out this problem. But when we come to primary 5, now like what I said just now, we can use unitary method. Okay, unitary method. So we are going to use unitary method without the model so that we can do a bit faster. So you don't have to draw the model because it's really too simple to draw. So what is the lesson here? Now the person who has less money, or the person who has less money, or the smaller group, or somebody who is smaller, or something that's lesser, what is that? That is 1 unit. Okay, so what is 1 unit? Now 1 unit is referring to somebody who has less money, or something that is lighter, something that is smaller. So that is 1 unit. And then the person who has more money, which is Mr. Wong, that will be 1 unit and $2,388. Okay, so that's how you understand who has 1 unit and who has more than 1 unit. Okay, then what do you do? Now you add these 2 persons. Alright, Mr. Wong has 1 unit and $2,388 plus Mrs. Lee, which is 1 unit, and if you add these 2 persons together, that will give you a total, which is $8,776. Alright, so that's how you apply the unitary method, which is putting units into your statements. Then you have 2 unit plus 2,388, and that will give you the total. So can you find how much is 2 unit? So 2 unit will be total, and you minus. You take a total, which is 8,776, and you minus 2,388, and you get $6,388. And then you find 1 unit, so you divide by 2, and that will give you $3,194. Alright, so how much does Mr. Wong have? Mr. Wong has 1 unit plus $2,388. So you take 3,194, which is 1 unit, plus 2,388, and that gives you Mr. Wong's money. And your answer will be $5,582, which is Mr. Wong's money. Okay, so this is without the model drawing. So lesson here is who gets 1 unit? The person who has less money, or something that's smaller, something that's cheaper, lighter, then that is 1 unit. Okay, so once you understand that, you can actually use that to solve difficult problems. If you understand how to allocate 1 unit, or who to allocate 1 unit, it will help you to solve the harder problems. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Now question 22. So write all the common multiples of 4 and 9, which are smaller than 30. So there is a shortcut over here. Alright, now, your teacher will have taught you write down the multiples of 4, write down the multiples of 9, and then circle the common multiple. But this is where the shortcut comes in. Now, you don't have to list out all the multiples, you just have to look at the bigger number, and you put down the multiples of the bigger number. For example, 18. Can 18 divided by 4? Cannot. So you go to the 4 and 6. Okay, Mr. Not see wrongly. Okay, not 4 and 9. So what are the common multiples of 4 and 6? Okay, so you look at the bigger number and you write the multiples of the bigger number, like 12, right? 12. Okay, so can 12 divided by 4? Can. So which means that the first common multiple has to be 12, right? 12. And then what is the next common multiple? You take 12 and you times 2 to get the second common multiple. And how do you get the third common multiple? Right? You go back to the first common multiple again, go back to the first one, and you times 3. So you times 3 and you will get 36. So that is your third common multiple. Okay, that's a shortcut to get the common multiples without having to list out all the multiples. So which multiples or which common multiples are smaller than 30? That will be 12 and 24. So cannot be 36 because 36 is bigger than 30. So your answer will have to be 12 and 24. Right? These are the two common multiples. Okay, so that's a shortcut. That's a shortcut that you can apply in this problem. Alright, the next one, question 23. 4 over 9 of a number is 72. What is a number? Alright, now some students have mistakes or you are stuck, or some students are stuck. They don't know how to do this question, but the idea, the concept is very simple. Every time there's a fraction, right, there is a 1 whole. Right, there's 4 over 9 here, there's a 4 over 9, then there must be 9 over 9, then there must be 5 over 9. So there's a family of fractions. So when you have fractions, there's always a family. So 4 over 9, and where is the 9 over 9? The 9 over 9 must be the number that we are trying to find. So that will be 9 units. So if 4 over 9 is 72, which means that 4 unit is 72. Okay, 4 over 9 is 4 units, and that is 72. Then what is 1 over 9? 1 over 9 will be 1 unit, and 72 divided by 4, you get 18. Then what is the number? The number is 9 over 9, which is 9 units. So that will be 18 times 9. So what is 18 times 9? And you will get the number, which is 162. So your number is 162. So lesson here, if there is a fraction, right, in any problem, if there's a 1/3, for example, then there must be a family. There must be a 2/3, there must be a 3/3. Okay, 3/3, something like that. Alright, so you will have a family of fractions. So in this problem, if there's 4 over 9, then there is a 9 over 9 and there's a 5 over 9. Alright, so the 9 over 9 is referring to the whole number that you are trying to find. Okay, let's go to the next one. Question 34. Okay, you have a ratio. So Randy, Sammy, and Tam donated $1152 in the ratio 3:2:4. How much did Tam receive, or did Tam donate? There's an important lesson here also. When there's a ratio, it's important that you label who has how many. Like Randy has 3, Sandy, and then 10. So it's important that you label so that you know who has how many units. And the total will be 3 plus 2 plus 4. That will be 9 units. Okay? Now, why do I do this way? Because it's easier to look down. Like Randy, below is 3. Right? So Randy has 3. Sandy, you look below, 2. But if you don't label, what happens? You'll be looking horizontally, which is a little dangerous because you may look at the wrong number. For example, if you look horizontally, right, from this part of the sentence to the other part, and you want to look for Randy, how many units does Randy have? You may what? You may accidentally look at the wrong number. So it's better to label your ratio and then put the numbers below, and then you know that Randy is 3 units already. That's why it's very easy to not make any mistakes if you write this way. So how much did 10 donate? So the total money is 9 units. Okay, 9 units, which is what they donate altogether, 1152. Then you find 1 unit. So you take 1152 and divide by 9. That will give you $128, which is 1 unit. And then what do you do next? You find 10. 10 donated 4 units. So 4 units will be 128 times 4. And that will give you $512, which is how much 10 donated. Okay, so let me just double check to see whether the answer is correct. So the total is 9 units. I take $1152 and then I divide by 9. And my 1 unit is $128 and 10 donated 4 units. So 128 times 4. And my answer is correct. Okay, so quite easy for a 2-mark question. So the only way you can lose your marks is when you make careless mistakes. When you see the wrong number for the person, right? When you look at the wrong number for the person. Okay, so let's go to question 25. Triangles. Alright, so what is the area of one triangle? So this figure is made of 5 identical triangles. So what's the area of one triangle? Okay, there's a method here. Now when you see identical shapes, identical triangles, then look for something equal. Something equal. Like for example, this side, and this side, they are equal. So the base are equal. So what's the base of each triangle? You take 12 cm and you divide by 3 equal sides, and you get 4 cm. So every side of every base, the base of each triangle is 4 cm. So what's the lesson here? Now when you see identical shapes or identical triangles or whatever, right? If they are identical, look for equal parts, equal sides. And what do you call them? Call them units, right? Call them units. But over here, of course, I won't call them units. They are actually called the base, right? The base of the triangle. But you can also call them units. So 3 units is 12 cm, alright? 3 units equal 12 cm. Then your 1 unit will be 12 divided by 3. So which means the base of the triangle is 4 cm. So can you find the height? The height is as tall as the triangle. Okay, so what is the height? 3 cm. So what's the area of a triangle? So what's the area of one triangle? So you have half times base. The base is 4 and the height is 3. And then, well, it's a very simple, very small numbers. You can take 4 times 3, 12. Then 12 divided by 2, you get 6. Or you can just cancel, divide by 2, you get 1. And 4 divided by 2, you get 2. So the area of one triangle is 6 centimeters square. Alright, so that's how you get the area of a triangle. Alright, so let's go to 26. Now, Abigail had 414 packets of buttons. Each packet contained 6 buttons. Now, just by looking at the first sentence alone, you can do something logical. You can immediately find how many buttons are there altogether, even without reading the question. Right? Without knowing what the question asks you to do, you can take the first step to find what is all the buttons. And then she repacked all the buttons into packets of 4. So how many packets of 4 buttons would she get? So first step, what is the first logical step? The first logical step is to find all the buttons in the packets. So if there are 414 packets, then you times 6. Because one packet contains 6 buttons. So the first thing you must do is to find the total. So you take 414 times 6. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. You see my calculator to cheat a little bit. So the total number of buttons will be 2,484. That is all the buttons. And what did she do with all the buttons? She repacked the buttons into packets of 4. So what do you mean by packets of 4? It means that every packet has 4 buttons. So to find how many packets, you have to divide. So math is about plus, minus, divide, or times. So which one do you use? So over here, you want to find how many packets? So you must divide. So you divide by, each packet has 4 buttons. So you divide by 4, and what do you get? So if you do your working correctly, you will get 621 packets. Okay? Alright, now I'm not showing you how to times, I'm not showing you the working, right? How to times and how to divide, because I'm sure you know how to do that. But if you have forgotten, then you will need to get someone to help you. Alright, how to times and how to divide. Right, so you will need to know your timetable. Your timetable is very important. At P5 level, it is a must that you need to know your timetable. Otherwise, you won't be able to do this calculation. Okay, so let me just have a quick check to see that my answers are right. So I have 440 packets times 6 buttons each. I will get so many buttons altogether. Then I take all the buttons and I divide by, one packet has 4 buttons. I divide by 4 and I will get 621 packets. Alright, let's go to the next question. Oh, timeline. Okay, so when you see a time question, I think we will have to draw a timeline. So you are tested on your P4, 12-hour clock and 24-hour clock. So the table shows a schedule for a shuttle bus that leaves a hotel for a shopping mall. What is the latest time Ming Ming can take the shuttle bus to reach the shopping mall by 1 p.m. So she wants to reach the shopping mall by 1 p.m. So you don't want to reach at 1. Okay, look at the arrival time. Okay, you want to reach the shopping mall by 1 p.m. So what is 13:15? 13:15 is, if you change it to 12-hour clock, that is 1:15 p.m. So you are late. So you don't want to arrive by 1:15. You want to arrive at this time, which is 12:45. Okay, 12:45 p.m. So this is the latest time that you have to arrive. Okay, right, the latest time you must arrive, because if you miss that, then you will arrive at 1:15 already, and then your friend will scold you, right? Okay, so you have to arrive at 12:45 p.m. So which means that the latest bus that you can take, the shuttle bus, the latest time you can take the shuttle bus will be at 12:30. So this is the latest time, right? If you take a bus at 12:30, then you will arrive at 12:45 p.m. If you take the bus at 1300, what happened? You will arrive at 1:15 p.m. Then you'll be late. So the latest time Mimi can take the shuttle bus is, look carefully, the unit sign is p.m. So you have to change the 12:30 into 12-hour clock. Or the time given in the table is 24-hour clock. Alright, so whatever time that you see inside is a 24-hour format. So you change to 12-hour clock. So this will be 12:30 p.m. So you have to take the bus at 12:30 p.m. Okay? Alright, part B. Now, Lily wants to take the shuttle bus that leaves at 11:30, but she is 25 minutes late. Oh. So what is the earliest time she can arrive at the shopping mall by taking the shuttle bus from the hotel? Now, she wants to take the shuttle bus that leaves at 11:30. Okay, somebody erase all this, okay, so that easier for us to see. Now, she wants to take the shuttle bus at 11:30. Oh, so she wants to take the bus here, but she missed it. So she is 25 minutes late. So what time did she arrive? Or what time did she arrive? So what time do you think? What is the time that is 25 minutes later? So 11:30 plus 25 minutes later, that will give you, what time is that? Okay, let me just write down. So she wants to take the bus at 11:30, right? And that's in the morning. So this is, the bus will come at 11:30, but she arrived 25 minutes late. Okay, she arrives 25 minutes late. So which means that she must have reached the hotel, something like that, alright, at 11:55 a.m., right? She must have reached the hotel by 11:55 a.m. But is there any bus that leave at 11:55 a.m.? No, there's no bus that leave at 11:55 a.m. So what's the earliest time the bus will pick her up? The earliest time will be 1200, which is nearest to 11:55, alright, or 12 p.m. Okay, so this is the time that is nearest to 11:55 a.m. So she arrived at the hotel. She arrived at the hotel at 11:55 a.m. and she will have to take the bus at 12 p.m. Because why? Because that's the earliest time for the bus to pick her up. So which means that, what is the earliest time she can arrive at the shopping mall? So if she take the bus at 12 p.m., then she will arrive at the shopping mall at 12:15, which is the earliest time. So your answer will be 12:15 p.m. Okay, so this is quite a practical problem because when you go to places, when you go to some shopping centers, you will have this sign. Okay, you have all this information to tell you what time the bus is coming, and then if you understand how to read the table, then you will not miss the bus. Okay, all right. Let's go to question 28. Fraction. So when there's a fraction, what do? Model drawing. So Ali and Ben shared the total cost of a parcel. Ali paid $15 more than 3/8 of the cost of the present, and Ben paid $25. Very hard. Okay, the moment you see Ali paid $15 more than 3/8 of the present, then you are stuck already, because if you don't draw the model, you find that you can't do. Alright, it's a little hard. So again, the method here is model drawing, and if you are able to draw the problem, the whole question becomes very simple. So when you see a fraction, what is a fraction talking about? 3/8 is talking about the cost of the present. Okay, I'm going to show you that by drawing out the problem, it makes everything simple. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, which is what the fraction is talking about, the cost of the present, and I cut the rectangle into 8 boxes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And Ali paid $15 more than 3/8 of the cost of the present. Okay, so I'm going to, let's use a different color. So Ali paid $50 more than 3 boxes. So I'm going to just like that. Okay, this is your $15. Okay, let me just put $15 more than 3 units. So Ali paid this amount. Okay, alright, so no solving, just drawing. And then Ben must have paid the rest. Okay, this is the rest of the money that Ben must have paid, which is $25. Okay, so let me just put down. Okay, let's put down here how you want to put this after you. Okay, so Ben paid $25. So how much did the present cost? Okay, so let's put the question mark there. So focus on the drawing, right? And draw correctly, draw properly, right? Don't rush. And be neat in your drawing, because once you are neat, everything becomes simple, right? Become easier to solve. Then your model is done. Then you call the boxes units. Okay, units. And there's part of a unit there, part of a box. So you can't put anything there. It's part of a unit. So we leave it empty, right? There's a box, there's a tiny box there. We leave it empty. Alright, then you look carefully. Can you see how many unit is how much? So I have 1 unit, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 units, which is equal to how much? Which is equal to $15, 15 plus 25. And that will give me 40. So my 5 unit is 40. Then my 1 unit must be 40 divided by 5. 1 unit is $8. So what is the question mark? Which is altogether 8 units. So the present cost 8 boxes or 8 units, right? So that will be 8 times 8. So the present must have cost $64. So what's the lesson here? The lesson here is, if you don't know how to do and you know that you can draw the model, you draw out the problem. Draw out the model and then use the model to get your steps. Okay, so you make a problem that is hard to be a simple one. So that's how you solve it with the model drawing. Okay, let's go to question 29. Alright, so question 29, let's move on. And fractions again. So every time there's a fraction, what do? I draw the model. So a pole was 2 meters long, and Jack painted 1/4 of the pole red and 2/5 of the pole blue. Common mistake. Very common mistake. Now, the common mistake is that student will take 2 meters minus 1/4 minus 2/5 and get the answer. But you can't. That's wrong. Because the fraction doesn't have a meter in front. There's no meter in front. So because there's no meter in front, it is not the actual value. It's not the actual length. It's just a representation. So you cannot take 2 meters minus 1/4 minus 2/5. So you have to look at what's in front of the fraction. Do you see a unit sign? Do you see a meter there? If you don't see a meter there, then you can't 2 meters minus 1/4. You can't do that. Okay? So what do we do? Well, you can draw the model, alright? Which is what I'm going to do. So 1/4 is talking about the pole, alright, 1/4. And then 2/5 is also talking about the same pole. So they are talking about the same thing. So what do? I make the denominator the same because they are talking about the same thing. So that will be 20, and this is 20. So 4 times 5, 1 times 5, 5 times 4, 2 times 4. So I don't look at this already. So I draw a rectangle, which is what the fraction is talking about. So the fraction is talking about the pole. So I draw a rectangle, which is the pole, and I cut into 20 boxes. But there's too many boxes to cut, so I don't cut it into 20 boxes. I cut it 20 units. And Jack painted 1/4, which is how many units? Which is 5 units. So I cut one box, and that is your 5 units, and that is red color. So Jack painted 1/4 of the pole red, which is 5/20. And Jack painted 2/5, which is how many units? Which is 8 units, and that is blue. And the rest of it, okay, the rest over here is green. And how many units is that? That will be 20 minus 5 minus 8. That will give me 7 units. So what is the length of the pole that was painted green? So your question mark here. Okay, and how long is the pole? The pole is 2 meters, but you want to write your answer in centimeter. So you change it to 200 centimeter because 2 meters is 200. Okay, now can you find the question mark? Yes, I can already. So my 20 units is 200 centimeter. Then my 1 unit will be 200 divided by 20. So I divide by 10, I divide by 10. Alright, and then 20 divided by 2, I will get 1 unit is 10 centimeter. And 7 unit is painted green. So 7 times 10, and you get 70 centimeter. So 70 centimeter of the pole was painted green. And that's how you solve using model drawing. Of course, those of you who are faster, you think you can do it without the model, then go ahead. But those who are not so good, then this is what you do. You think about what the fractions are talking about. If they are talking about the same thing, what must you do? Then you make the denominator the same. And then draw a rectangle to represent what the fraction is talking about. And then you cut it and label, right? Cut the boxes and label. Alright, so let's go to question 30, volume. So the figure shows a rectangular glass box partly filled with unit cubes. Jim then completely filled the box with unit cubes. Alright? So how many such unit cubes were there altogether in the end? Okay, so how do you do this problem, or how do you do this question? So how many cubes can this box contain altogether? So what you can do is, now to find how many cubes are there inside, or how many cubes can the box contain altogether, you just have to count the cubes along the length, and then how many cubes along the breadth, and how many cubes you can put along the height, and then you multiply. Alright, so how many cubes can you put along the length? So you just count carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can put 8 cubes along the length. And how many cubes can you put along the side, the breadth? So you have 1, oops, okay, let me just try again. Okay, so you have, let me use a red color so you can see better. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6. And how many cubes you can put along the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so you can put 8 cubes along the length. And how many cubes can you put along the height? You look at the column here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can put 4 cubes along the height. So in total, how many cubes can fill the whole box? So you take length times breadth times height. That will give you the total cubes that can fill out the whole box. And what will you get? 8 times 6 times 4. You can have a total of 192 cubes. So which means that after Jim had put in some more cubes, how many cubes are there altogether in the box now? Which is 192 cubes in the box. Alright, so that's how you do this question. Alright, so we are done with our paper 1, Henry Park. So I think it's a very good paper again. Slightly on the, okay, I won't say it's very hard, but it's quite a good paper. It's a very good paper, and it's not like the paper because it really tests you on your basic, tests you on your concept. Because there are some papers that are so hard, they are really so hard, and then it really makes you very discouraged because you can't solve a lot of the questions. So for paper 1 at P5 level, we do not want to make it too hard for you. We want to make it just, okay, we don't want to make it too easy, we don't want to make it too hard. So we want you to be able to do most of the questions. Because when it comes to paper 2, what happens is paper 2 will of course be harder. So paper 1 is generally easier because it helps to pull up your total marks, right? Paper 2 will usually be a little harder. Okay, so hopefully after you have gone through the lesson, you don't have a lot of mistakes. But if you have a lot of mistakes, then what do? Then you just revise again, and it's a good practice to redo these questions that you have done wrongly and see whether you understood. Because if you understood, then you should not make the same mistakes. Alright, because the concepts will be inside your head already. Alright, so if you have the wrong concept and you make the mistake because of wrong concepts, then hopefully at the end of the lesson, you will understand the right concept and then get the answer correct the next time. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson for today. So stay tuned for the up and coming lessons. So there'll be more lessons coming. So hopefully at the end of the lesson you are more ready to tackle your paper 1 in your New Year exams. Alright, so see you in the next lesson. Oh, one more thing. Okay, before Mr. always forget. Now, so if you are keen to learn more, then I will encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Alright, my channel, and so my channel is a PSLE Math and MLGs YouTube channel. So when you subscribe to my channel, I will be posting lesson videos, and so when you subscribe and you click on the notification bell button, what happens is when I post a lesson, you'll be notified immediately. So that's how you get to receive new lessons. Alright, so and then every time the lesson is being posted, then hopefully it'll be something that can help you to boost your confidence a little bit more as you watch the video. Alright, so I'll see you in the next lesson. Alright, so goodbye, see you next week.